All right, we're going to get on page 25. So this is the test review. However, we're kind of putting an additional spin on this. We're doing all of the tests that we've done so far, meaning proportions and means. So let's look at this first. So we're either going to do a one proportion z-test, and we're gonna learn how to read a problem and see which kind of thing it is. And we'll abbreviate that 1p-zt for one proportion z-test. Okay, or we have two proportion z-tests, which is 2p-zt, and then one sample. These ones right here that are for samples, those are means. Okay, so if it says one sample t-test, that's for means. So that's why when we abbreviate it, we abbreviate 1m t-test. So 1 mean t-test is what that stands for, and 2 means t-test. So what we're going to do first is read a situation and see if we can't tell which one of these four things that problem is. Because once you can identify that, then you can start doing the problem. We're not going to actually do the problems right now. We're just going to identify which one of those four things it is. Okay, so number one. The average cholesterol level for people in their 40s is 192. So first of all, this is kind of making me think, okay, it might be means. Okay? So you are interested in seeing if the average cholesterol level is different for vegetarians in their 40s. 56 vegetarians in their 40s are tested for cholesterol. So how many samples do we have? Wait, we have one sample that contains 56. We don't have two separate samples. We just have one sample. So this is a one mean or one sample t-test. Okay, you see how I decided that? Yep, so let's go over to the next one. Are skiers at Sierra at Tahoe Ski Resort more likely to spend the night in the basin than skiers at Kirkwood Ski Resort? 50 Sierra Tahoe skiers and 50 Kirkwood skiers were surveyed. So I got two samples. So I got 2, and what makes you think it's P? Well, what kind of question do you think I'm going to be seeing? How about the proportion of those 50 that stay? I'm probably going to be seeing what proportion of those 50 stay in the basin or whatever, stay at that resort. So I think that's why it's one proportion or two proportions Z test. Okay, number 3. You try this one on your own. I'll read it to you and we'll have a discussion after you try it. Are tourists on the North Shore more likely to rent a boat? Are tourists on the North Shore more likely to rent a boat than tourists on the South Shore? 50 North Shore and 50 South Shore tourists were surveyed. I agree. Yeah, said by ourselves. Okay. I agree. It looks like we have 2 samples, so 2 separate groups. What kind of question do you think they're asking? The proportion of those 50 that do what? Rent a boat. Very good. The proportion of those 50 that rent a boat. So 2 proportion Z test. So the proportions are always Z's and the means are T's. Okay. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. Let's have you try 4 or 5. Let's have you do the rest of them on this page and then we'll check them. Okay? So try these next ones. Okay. All right, so let's check those other ones that you did real quick. So number 4, we're looking for recovery time. So is this an amount that you would do what with? Average. You would average this recovery time because that's an amount. Okay? And so that's 2 means because we have ones with insurance is a 300 patients with health insurance and 200 patients without health insurance. So that's really two means t-test. Okay? All right, next. Do more than 99% of women who are given a vaccine stay free from ovarian cancer? So this is going to be, do you have ovarian cancer, yes or no? So if I'm asking you if you have ovarian cancer, yes or no, that's a proportion. So it's a 1 proportion z-test. Okay? Next, does it rain more than 25% of the year? 200 days are observed. So on those days, what question do I answer? Did it rain? Yes or no? Okay, and so that's a 1 proportion z-test. Is there a significant difference in the percentage of men and the percentage of women that have legally purchased songs? So you're going to get a percent for men and a percent for women. And so they are asking to the man, did you legally purchase songs or did you not? You know, that kind of thing. Okay, honestly, this one is a toughie. Technically, it should be a 1 proportion z-test. Okay, technically, that's the way it should be. But we talk about proportion that own a cat or the proportion that own a dog. Technically, the reason that it is 1 proportion is because it comes from 1 sample. And because the ones that own a cat, if they don't own a cat, then they're the other part that owns a dog. So that's really kind of together. So I would have taken either one on that one because it's kind of tricky. There shouldn't be like that on there. No. All right. Is there a difference in the pass rate? So if you're looking for a pass rate, that means you look at that person and you say, what? Did you pass or not? Yes, no, you passed. So that means it's a proportion. So 2 proportions. We got textbook versus e-text. So 2 separate proportions, 700 for each. So they were 2 separate sets. This one was the average bail. You know what bail is? Yeah. That's like how much money you have to pay to get somebody out of jail so they can be free while they're waiting for trial. Okay? So that's money. And money is an amount that you would average. So that's why it is 2 means t-test, because it's for females and males, so 2 separate groups. And the last one, this is time. Do math students who spend time with a tutor earn a grade than those who do not? Does it have something in here like it probably should say higher or something? Yeah. Earn a grade higher than those who do not have a math tutor. So actually, it looks like we're averaging their grades and seeing which group has a higher average. The ones with a tutor versus the ones without a tutor. The difference between mean and at proportion, or what? Okay, so a couple of key things for proportion. Okay, all right, good. 1 and 2 is simple, but so the key things for proportion is like you ask yourself, what are you figuring out? Did you pass or did you not pass? So if the question is you did or you didn't, yes or no, did you get cancer or did you not get cancer? That's proportions. Okay, so yes, no, it rained. Yes or no, you have legally purchased songs. Yes or no, you own a cat or dog. Yes, no, you pass. But if you have quantities, numerical values, that it makes sense to average those numbers, then that's an average. Like money, that's a bunch of number values that it makes sense to get an average number amount, average money amount. And a grade, all of your grades of those people, I would get an average grade for those ones. So it's kind of, is it a yes-no question or is it a number amount? Okay, so now let's go take a look at doing these. So the first thing that happens is you, of course, have to read a problem. Oh, there's more. Okay, do we need to practice more of these? No, for now? Okay, so let's see if you're doing okay. Maybe we could practice some tomorrow or something because we're going to review today and tomorrow. And then I think the test is on Thursday. Today's Tuesday already. So review today and tomorrow, test Thursday. So do you see that the first thing you do is read the problem, of course, and then decide which one of these kinds of tests it is. So I want to remind you, if it's 2 proportion, then you would have, proportion 1, and you would define it, and proportion 2, and you would define. I don't know if it is on this, so don't mark that down. Okay? If it's 2 proportions. So you use proportions for those problems, and you use means for those problems. You define a mean for those problems. Okay? So use the correct symbols. And so once you then define those, then you do your hypothesis statements. And then let's look at where you go in your calculator real quick. Okay, so everybody open your calculator up, and let's see where you go in your calculator. Do stat, over to tests. Okay. So we will not ever use number 1. No using number 1. We will use number 2. What is number 2? Which one of these things does number... Okay, good. This is number 2 on your calculator. So if it's one of those things, it's number 2 on your calculator, okay? Okay, what number is a 1 proportion z-test? 5. Number 5. Okay, so this one is number 5 on your calculator. Okay, and then a 2 proportion z-test looks like number 6 on your calculator. Oh, for you it's 3. No. No. That says 3 says 2 sample z-test. That's not it. It's 2 proportion z-test. 2 proportion z-test. Okay, how about a 2 sample t-test? That one is what number? 4 on your calculator. Okay, so those are the ones that you use on your calculator to fill in the blanks. So I'm going to let you just go from here, practice some things, and you'll probably have questions putting things in your calculator if you come across it, so I will help you with that. All right, go ahead and get to work on that.